Hey, everybody. I'm actually live today. I'm actually really live today. I've been recording, but today I'm actually going all totally live. I didn't have time to record, so this is what you get. This is what you get with me today. How's everybody doing? How's your grief doing? How are you guys able to make out with the pain? How is today? Were you able to today's a gloomy day here in Texas, so I'm not sure if a lot of times with gloom, we're not able to get out of the bed. We just can't we just can't manage the grief on those days, right? So a lot of times what we do is we choose to stay in. So I'm not sure where you're at. I'm not sure what you're feeling, but I want to let you know that I see you and that I'm absolutely thinking about you today. Today, I wanted to talk about something pretty serious. I want to talk about the difference between your brain and your heart. You guys hear me talk about it all the time. You hear me share about the difference between your brain and your heart. But I titled this something a little bit different, your heart versus your smart. How many of you are out there still asking this question? How many of you are out there still asking this question? And I say this all the time. When you ask this question, I feel like it just goes out like, why? Like, I don't know who we're actually asking it of. To me, I think a lot of times we're asking it of God. We're asking it of the universe, right? If I could just understand this, if I could just understand, if I could just understand this, right? What would you do if you could just understand this one thing? If I could just understand this, if I could just understand this, then it would make it easier. Then it would make it better. If I could just understand the why, everything would be different. Does this sound familiar? Does this sound familiar to any of you? What if I told you that understanding would not heal your broken heart? What if I told you, if I gave you all of this understanding, this would still be happening? Even if you had every bit of the answer to this, even if I gave you the piece of paper that said 1, 2, 3, and I told you the answer to this, that your heart would still be broken, would you believe me? I know that there's a lot of you out there looking for the why, but if I gave you this, these are the answers to the why, I tell you your heart would still be broken. Would you believe me? It will. It will. And let me show you why. When I show you why, when I show you how, it'll all make sense. It'll all make sense for you. I know that you guys are searching the why. You know how I know it? Not because you told me. I don't know it because you told me. I know it because it was me. I know it was because it was me. Even on the ones that I knew was coming, even on Dad and Sharon, even when I went through the experience with them, the why was still a question. Okay. This is not going to surprise you because I probably, since we have known each other, I've probably drawn this. Am I at 1,000,000 times so far? Probably. Right? You'd think my hearts would get better, but they're not. Okay. The why is coming from here. The brain wants to know the why. The brain wants to know the why. And we think that if we have the answer to this and we can store it, right? We can store it in our brain. It's going to take away the hole that's in our heart. It will mend the hole that's in our broken heart. If we have the why, then we will be able to understand this. That's Brittany. She's yelling at the twins for something. Hey, friends, my name is Sharon Brubaker, and I'm the founder of the Grief School, if you and I don't know each other. The Grief School is the place where healing begins. The Grief School is where I help women feel heard, understood, while they're on their unique grief healing journey. Right now, I'm breaking down some grief and fighting some twins that are in there that are 2 years old. So if you're hearing them, I talk a lot about moving on to the grief healing journey with intention, having the intention to go after the grief healing, having the intention to go after the healing. The healing takes place here. This is where healing takes place, right? It takes place in our heart. Up here, we have understanding. Understanding takes place in our brain. I teach you in here, but you do the action steps here. This is because you need this huge understanding. You feel like you have to have this huge understanding, and you really have to have the answer to that in order before you can do this. That's what happens to a lot of us. We think if we have this, that this will automatically happen that fast. And that's not true. Having this is simply having that, period. Knowing something in your brain does not fix your broken heart. Knowing it clearly in your brain is not going to fix your broken heart. I promise you, friends. Your head cannot fix what your heart is feeling. Your head cannot fix this. Your head cannot fix this pain. Your brain cannot fix this. There's a difference. There's a difference between what we're thinking and what we're feeling. Your thoughts live in your brain. They ask the questions all the time. The pain lives in your heart. Here's what lives here, thoughts. Here's what lives here, pain. Pain is what you're feeling. Pain is what you're experiencing. Most of the times when you and I are talking, you're describing the pain to me, but you're describing it through your thoughts. And a lot of times that thought has the word why in it. Here, let me explain this. Here's what this means. You can explain exactly what happened when your person died. You can tell me everything. It looks something like this. At 3 p.m., I got the call. It was her. She said, "You need to come now." At 3:30, I arrived. There were doctors and nurses everywhere. At 4:15, they made the call. You can tell me everything that happened. I can tell you right now today, everything that happened with Donovan, everything that happened with Austin, everything that happened with Sharon, everything that happened with my dad. I don't know that I will have all the times. I seem to have those on Donovan, but I don't know that I would have all the exact times, but I can tell you, I got the call. I called my brother. We did a 3-way call. Then we got Erica on the phone. I can tell you step by step what happened. Those things never go away. You never forget those. But this, my friends, is the intellect coming from our brain. There is no emotion in there. I got the call. It was her. She said you have to be here. I arrived at 3:30. At 4:30, the doctors made the call. At 4:30, I was sitting in the hall. I didn't know what to do. I felt frozen. Right? So all of those things are going to happen to you. You got that. That's in your brain. You can tell me who was there. You can tell me what they said. You can repeat smells. You can repeat what the doctor did, and even why it all started to happen that way. And you can go through this story over and over again. And you can cry yourself to sleep going over and over and over this story. This story is going to lead you all the way to here. It's going to lead you to question why. This story, which I call the event, this is the event, is going to lead you to this, which I call the thought. Okay? So this is your event, this is your thought, and this thought is going to lead you to the emotion. And I know that's a mess, so I'm going to rewrite it out for you. So you have an event, it leads to a thought, and then it leads to an emotion. Let me show you what that is. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about how we get the thoughts and our brain completely involved in each other, and then we stop there and we don't go to what we need to do. So we have an event. My event is Donovan died. I have a thought about that event. This was really my thought. Why, God? How could you do this? We've already had a child that died. Why, God? So we had an event. Now, on the event, I have all of the details. Let me do that. As the event goes on, my brain knows all of the details, right? So my brain knows all of the details. 8:30 a.m. Call. Keith is my brother. We called him right away. Then we did a three-way call. The three of us did a three-way call. Actually, I did this wrong. Then the three of us did a three-way call. And then I had a thought. This is my event. I can tell you that event. It's deeper than this, but I can go into that event over and over again. Why her? Why her? Why her, God? Why now? How is it us? Again, I had an event. Donovan died. I can replay that event in my brain over and over again. This is all in my brain. I have a thought about this event. I have questions about it. I have tons of thoughts. Every time I have a thought, it throws an emotion into my heart. This hole in your heart holds an emotion. Sad, broken, right? Whatever happens. So this is the events that happen. But for a lot of us, we get stuck right here. We get stuck right here. We don't realize we've got to go here and feel this. You don't have an option not to feel this. You've got to go there. Understanding is not the same as healing. We think if we have all of the answers to this, if someone were to give us the cheat sheet with all of the answers, if these questions got answered, I'm going to feel better. If somebody comes in here and answers these questions, I'm going to be able to move on. You cannot logic your way out of this. You cannot use your brain to escape this. You just can't. The truth is that you are emotionally incomplete here. The truth is you are emotionally incomplete here in your heart. This is simply intellect. It's simply your brain. And your brain is playing a lot of tricks on you. It's playing a lot of tricks about the grief. Okay. There's a term that I use quite often. It's called emotional incompleteness. And that's the stuff that we didn't say. That is the stuff that we didn't get to say to our person. So we are incomplete in an emotional nature of the things that we need to say to our person. So, because and the reason I'm going deep in this, because so many times people are telling me, how do I do the steps? What do I do? I teach this. I teach this at the school. I teach emotional incompleteness. I write too big. But completeness. Emotional incompleteness. All right. What is emotional incompleteness? When someone dies or our relationships end, there are things that we need to say that we never got a chance to say. There are things that we need to say that we never got a chance to say. There's stuff we didn't say. We never finished the fight in the kitchen about who was supposed to take the dishes out of the dishwasher. We never found the cap to that toothpaste that we were looking for. We never finished talking about how much we loved each other. Did you really know how much I loved you? Because I'm now starting to realize that I really, really did love you. And maybe I didn't say that enough. When someone dies, our relationship ends, those unsaid things get stuck. Hey, Pauline. Hey, Rosa. When someone dies or our relationship ends, the emotional completeness is any unsaid things. All of the unsaid things that we need to say. And for everybody, that thing is different. And for every relationship, that thing is different. So here's Donovan, because I'm using Dono today. We call him Dono. Here's his parents, Louis and Erica. Here's me. Here's Tony. The things that they were left unsaid between Louis and Erica are completely different than the things that are going to be unsaid between Tony and I. This was my nephew. This was their child. They made this person. They had a 24/7 relationship with him. Tony and I had this relationship of joy and love with him. He could do no wrong to us. Same thing happens. Let's say I change the names here. I'm going to change the names. Here's my dad. Here's my brother Keith. And my sister Yolanda. Here's me. And here's Erica. And here's my sister Charlene. I better put her in because I don't want her to get her feelings hurt. Keith was the oldest boy. And just to show you a difference, he called him Pop. We all called him Daddy. They were friends. They went to the baseball games together. This one right here, Erica, was spoiled to death. She was the apple of his eye. They had a different relationship. Charlene and I had a different relationship. Yolanda was a nurse practitioner. She did most of his healthcare. This is all of the things that were left unsaid in your relationship. Every single one of us had a different relationship with this guy right here. And every single one of us had something different to say to him. And every single one of us has a different grieving experience. Because every single one of us experienced our love for him differently. Based on the way, the position we were raised in, has a lot to do with that. Keith being the oldest boy, me being the oldest girl. Based on Yolanda worked for him, then she became a nurse, then she became a nurse practitioner. I can't, Erica will even tell you this. I mean, she just could do no wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Most of us think that if we fix our thinking about our relationship with our person, or we get the answer to the question why, that this will be over and we'll be able to move on. But the truth is, my friend, your pain is in your heart. It lives in your chest. It lives in your gut. And you feel that ache. And you have to heal the ache where it lives. So, when you hear me talking about we need to complete our relationships, it's to the loneliness, the isolation, and everything that was left unsaid. So, this you've all seen. This you've all seen. This is the pain, right? Here we go. This is your pain. This is your grief pain. This is your grief pain. This is where it resides. We all think that if we fix this, fix it here with an arrow, fix here, that this will go away. The pain lives here. It also lives in your gut. Your heart sits right on top of your stomach, so it's not uncommon for us to feel the pain in our stomach. You can fix the ache, but you have to go after this. How do you go after this? You do a complete review of your relationship with your person. I can't fix this because I don't know what this was. For most of you, by the time we meet, I have just met you. This is something you have to fix. It's all the things that were left here unsaid that you have to fix. And this is where healing lives, not here. Okay, I want to tell you guys about my client, Lisa. Lisa came to me, and I love her. I love her. She came to me after her mom died. And sometimes when I talk to her, she's like, "You're my angel. You're my angel." She's so cute. She Googled me, and she found me on Google, and she called me up. And the first thing she said to me was, "I need help. I don't know how to do this." Her mom had just died, literally had just died. And she could tell me everything about her mom. She could tell me every single thing about her mother. She could tell me everything about the hospital stay. She could tell me about her mom's finger. Her mom's finger, she had diabetes, and her two fingers had to be amputated on her right hand. She had this whole list of things that she could tell me about mom and the hospital stay. She could tell me about the nurses. She could tell me about the doctors. There were all of these things that she could tell me about mom. She told me the timeline. She told me the medical reports. She even told me what color the hospital walls were. For weeks, we would do meetings and we would talk, and she would talk about the grief. And sometimes she would cry. Sometimes she absolutely would cry. She had already been in therapy and was doing therapy simultaneous with me. Sometimes she would go into emotional parts with her heart on her story with mom. But for the most part, she was really staying here intellect. And when I see a griever and they're doing this, they're giving me all the facts. The ambulance came at 9:05. I got to the hospital at 10:15. The doctor walked in the room at 11:30. When I see a griever and they're doing this, my friends, is long-term grief. It's long-term story. They're really stuck in the facts. Most of us start here in our grief. Most of us start here. It is not uncommon for us to start here and to stay here. But then one day I said to her, "Tell me something you still need to tell mom that you never got a chance to tell her." Because I had heard this story 100 times and she just kept repeating it, which is okay. That's what happens. I try to get you to go down emotionally, and I just asked the question. And I honestly believe that that day she was absolutely ready because she broke down. I seen tears that I hadn't seen. And she started to tell me the story about one time how they were at the house and they were at the house. Mom wasn't feeling well. She couldn't get the oxygen to work. She was really crying. She was asking mom to help her, but her mom wasn't really understanding what was going on. The truth was, she was really mad. In her heart, she was really mad. She was mad at the doctors. She was mad at the home health care. She was mad at the way they were treating mom. She was mad at dad, the way he didn't make sure all the equipment was working. She's beating on the machine. She thought mom was going to die that day. And that was stuck in her. And even though she had told me all of this, she never told me the story about that day. She was not there when mom died. She wasn't at the hospital that day. That also bothered her. She continued to loop this through her head over and over again. She was continuing to loop this through her head over and over again because every time she dropped down here, it was too painful. It was easier to stay in the head. But for a lot of us, we think if I can solve the case, then this is all going to be okay. Friends, your healing 100% takes place in your heart. It does not take place in your head. Healing takes action. It takes action steps, not analyzing. For a lot of us, we want to analyze the whole thing. We want to go through this whole thing. We want to look at what we did. What did I do? What could I have done different? What should I have done better? Let me re-examine it. We want to do all of this because we think that's what's going to get us to healing. What is actually going to get you to healing is a review of your relationship and finding any area that you're incomplete in an emotional nature with things that you never had a chance to say. You don't need to know what's incomplete when you come to me. I help you find it. I have assignments that help you find it. I get you there. 100% death ends our physical relationship. It absolutely does. But your emotional relationship continues on. And this is the area that you have to do most of your work in. It has to be brought current. When we get to completion, we get to say, I didn't get to do this. I need to say this. I need to feel this. This is what I'm feeling. This is how I'm feeling. For a lot of us, we all come together here. I'm doing the lives. I'm talking. I'm on TikTok. And it's hard for me to go really deep, friends. It really is. I can answer questions for you because a lot of you don't even know what this grief thing is. But what I'm talking about is doing the deep work. What I'm talking about right now is getting into the deep work. I want to use divorce right now as an example. We all know divorce is painful. Some of you in here may have even had a divorce. But let me be clear. I know that divorce is not death, and I'm not comparing it together. One of the things that we lose when we have a divorce is we lose the loss of our hopes, dreams, and expectations. We lose our future. We lose the loss of hopes, dreams, and expectations when we lose our person. The difference between divorce and death is that your person with the divorce is still here. And sometimes you still have to see him. Sometimes you can have a friendship with him. But just like death, the physical part of that relationship ends. The physical part of that relationship ends. And it changes. You don't see him every day. You're not sleeping together. He's not there helping you with the kids. He takes the kids on his days, right? The physical relationship ends. When someone dies, our physical relationship with them ends. But the emotional part of the relationship is still there. In a divorce, our physical relationship ends and the emotional part is still there. All of the times he got on my nerves, all the times he made me mad, all the things I still need to say about him. You couldn't take out the trash every Tuesday. That's all I wanted you to do. That stays in. That is emotional incompleteness in the divorce. You couldn't squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom. That's emotional incompleteness in the divorce. Those are the things you still need to say in the divorce. I loved you. I said I do, and it was going to be forever for me. You brought someone else into our marriage. Whatever this is that you need to go through in the divorce, we go through the same thing with the death. The same emotional skills still apply. You've got to go into your heart with a death, divorce. So death and divorce are the most popular that everyone talks about when it comes to grief. And so that's why I kind of related it so you could see that. In the divorce, they're physically still here. If you're stuck and you're cycling around in your grief, if you're still asking yourself a lot of questions, if you're still replaying the last day over and over again in your brain, you're probably stuck. You're probably stuck at some part in the grief. And it's almost like you need to get hit, to get knocked out of it. What is it that you still need to understand? What is it that you keep replaying over and over again in your brain? What is it that you think time is going to fix? What part of this do you think time is going to fix? Because I'm going to tell you something, friends. In our grief time, it will fix a lot of things, but it will not fix this. It's not going to go to there. This is where it takes action. It takes you going after that to move it. I want to lovingly tell each and every one of you that time alone is not going to heal this. Doing your grief work will. Doing your grief work here. Doing your grief work here is going to remove the pain of the emotional incompleteness and give you a break on the grief. Look at that. Look what I just did. I took the emotion out. But look what's still there. It is the whole. You're still going to miss your person. You are not going to forget your person. You are going to miss them. You will remember, you will have every memory you ever had. A lot of people think, I don't know, they were like, I don't want to forget him. I can't bippity boppity boop you. I can't. What I want to remove is the pain. I know for a fact that I am going against the grain. There are very few of us as grief specialists. As a matter of fact, I personally only know one other that's out here preaching that we can take care of this pain. There's a lot saying you're going to be like this for the rest of your life. Some really high-powered ones. You need a plan. You need support. You need to be willing to do this with intention and to step onto the grief healing journey. And that's what I teach at the grief school. So I wanted to go into something that I had never talked about so that I could share that with you. Oh, wait, I just lost that thought. My son said, you sound and look beautiful. He's 8. Oh my goodness, how amazing. Thank you. Thank you, my friend. That's so sweet. So sweet. Thank you. I lost the thought there. Your son is sweet. I agree. Sharon is beautiful. Thank you, Sandra. If today's message hit you at all and you want to find out more, start coming to the Grief Study Hall. It's a great place to start. The Grief Study Hall is a great place to start. I love my ladies in the Grief Study Hall. About 3 weeks ago, we were laughing all during Grief Study Hall, and then I changed up the lessons, and now they don't like me anymore, but that's okay. I'm still their friend. Grief Study Hall is a great place to start. I have the link for that in the notes there, but I also printed out some journal questions that I made for you. Hear me out. Look at the journal questions. Pull them out. Write them out if you want. If not, at least go through them in your head. What do I know about my loss that I keep repeating in my brain? What feelings am I not allowing myself to feel fully? What words did I never get to say to my person? What regrets do I hold on to about this relationship? What am I still trying to make sense of in this relationship? So there's a lot of great questions that's going to help you look at this end this. Absolutely. I think I was talking about, I don't know what that thought was. I know that I'm going in an uphill battle. People think I've lost my mind. Oh, this is it. I came back to me. Thank you. Okay. Here's what recovery looks like. Recovery looks like me being able to talk about them. Recovery looks like me being able to share about them. Recovery looks like me being able to share stories. I'm able to look at pictures of them, right? So here's a picture of Sharon and I. We were at a baby shower. And this is my very best friend, Sharon, that you guys hear me talk about all the time. I want to tell you guys something really cool that happened today. Recently, Sharon came up with a saying. It was called, you'd say, "Hey girl, how you doing?" And she'd say, "Looking for the J and joy." And she repeated it all the time. She's like, "I'm just going to live. That's going to be my new motto. And I'm going to live that life." And I'm going to put the questions. They are going to be, as soon as this posts, it's going to be in the posts. Thank you, Erica. It's going to be in the post. As soon as I'm finished sharing, I post. And she would always say, "Looking for the J and joy." And I love that. Anyway, this morning I try to go through my gratitude every day. I, pray for you guys. I pray for your heart. And I try to go. I could not connect to the gratitude this morning. And at 7 a.m., I'm back in cardiac rehab. So I went to cardiac rehab and I literally got off the table. And I was like, I got to get my gratitude lit. Like I was trying to go through my gratitude so that my heart could give me the energy of joy and just live in my life. And I got right to the door and I was like, I said, I got to. And this thought came to my head. It was so clear. It was like she was saying it. Find the J and joy. It just went right through my head. It was literally like it came from her, you guys. My heart, I just smiled. I said, that's it. I got to find the J and joy today. That's what I got to do. And she just laid it on me so clearly. So I came to my phone and I Googled if J stands for joy, what other words? I said, here's the list. If J stands for joy and jolly, give me a list of other words that are possible. Jubilee, jubilant, jazzed, jovial, joyous, just, juicy, and just start. And so that I landed on just start. Just start your gratitude list. I don't know. It was just a cool moment between Sharon and I this morning. So that's what healing looks like. I can look at pictures of her. I can talk about her. My heart doesn't absolutely break down. I have no pain right now when I'm telling this. Sometimes I pause and I look off and I can feel them. I love them. I miss them. That whole thing this morning, I would have shared with her. I would have shared that with her. I would have read the list to her and we would have looked at the definition of each word. That's the kind of things we used to do. Finding the J and joy. That was her. It was a kiss from heaven, Sandra. Yes, it was so clear, you guys. I have to tell you, it was so clear. Right when I got to the door, I was like, I have to. And I put my hand on the door and she said, find the J and joy. So yes, it was a kiss from heaven. That's what recovery looks like. This is me in recovery. I'm going to tell you guys something. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It took me a little longer with Sharon. It took me a little bit longer with Sharon than it did with Austin. He was 10. Than it did with Donovan. He was 21. Than it did with my dad. It took the time that it took, but it took a little bit longer with Sharon, and it was because of the intimacy and the intimate relationship that we had. Not the intimacy, the intimate relationship that we had. But I had to eventually get out of here, drop down here, do the work. I still miss her. I love her. I can share about her. I can talk about her. I could hear her voice. I can talk to her children, all of those things. That's what recovery feels like. But that hole will forever be there. There will forever be this spot that has never been filled by anyone. I'm not going to feel it. I'm not looking to fill it. But because some of us, we can't feel it, right? We can't fill that hole. And I'm not going to, for me, I will have other friends. I have all of you guys. I absolutely will have other friends. But I don't know that I'll ever be blessed with another friend like that. Yes, I absolutely have heard my name be called. Somebody just said that yesterday. So somebody was just telling me that they heard their name be called, and I actually, oh yes, Miss Monette and I were talking about it. Yes, absolutely. There's these times I think, um, there's times where you have thoughts. You guys, you might think that I'm crazy, but I'm going to tell you this. I think there's times where we have thoughts that is just us asking questions like why, right? But then there's times where we hear those thoughts being repeated back to us. We hear those things. I heard her say, find the joy and joy. And I'm saying it's her, but I heard my guardian angel, whoever is guiding me, say, find the joy and joy. So there's times where something plays in here and you hear it. And there's most of the times we're playing the thoughts. And the thoughts, because what you hear, I think is the guidance. That's just me. I think we're getting spiritual guidance. That's guidance. What we're playing over and over again is the limiting beliefs, thoughts that are causing limiting beliefs. So that's what's going on there. All right, my friends. Does the empty spot make you feel incomplete? Are you talking about the hole right here? Does this make me feel incomplete? No, the incompleteness comes in the emotions. You are emotionally incomplete. It's emotional incompleteness. So that's what makes you feel incomplete is the pain. The empty spot does not make me feel incomplete. Even Sharon would say, "Where's Sharon squared?" And we were always together. People always saw us together. Even with all of that, I don't feel incomplete in that and not having her. I miss her, and I'm going to miss her until the day I die. And on the day that I die, she better have her ass on that bridge. That's all I got to tell you. She better be there. I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. Because she's got to give me the tour. She's got to show me what it looks like. Jay and joy. Looking for the Jay and joy. Yep, that's it. I don't have it right now, but and I do go into it pretty deeply, the Jay and joy and processing the pain and grief. I had for her funeral, I actually had coffee cups made, and they all said Jay and joy, and everybody got those. I don't think I have one in here. No, I don't have one in here. All right, friends. Thank you. Thank you for letting me come live today. It was a lot of fun. And I will see you tomorrow. I'm going to be live on TikTok around 9 a.m. I'm going to be cleaning out my closet. I got to hang up some clothes. So I was like, well, I'll go live while I'm doing that. My mama better be there too. That is my biggest hope. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. They better be greeting me, especially if I've done all this work. Right? I love you guys all. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.